Hey y'all, Riley here. And as you can probably tell, that is not our gigantic F-250 trimmer behind me, and it's not our Scout campers that took us all around the country last year. It's our new toy. It's a two-door Jeep Wrangler. And before I get into the details about this vehicle, as well as the plans that we have for it, because you know that I can't leave well enough alone when it comes to vehicles, I want to talk about the elephant in the room, which is that the trimmer and the camper are gone. They're not hiding. We didn't rewrap the trimmer in some sort of camouflage wrap. It is gone. So I want to talk about why we did that and then talk about our new vehicle. Hannah and I would both confidently say that the F-250 is the best vehicle we've ever owned. It was comfortable, it was plush, it had a lot of creature comforts and features. It was also extremely capable in everything that it did, minus gas mileage. Off-road, it was incredible. It was always planted. It handled obstacles and your regular rough terrain much better than we had anticipated. That long wheelbase was phenomenal. And then you throw the Scout Camper's Kenai on the back, and we had close to, I'd say, the perfect overland rig for two people and a dog, especially if you want to keep it pretty minimalist. So why did we sell it if we loved it so much? And the answer to that's pretty simple, but it is a little bit nuanced. Long story short, we want to buy a house this year. And in order to do that, while we could have kept the truck and the camper, we thought it would be best to give ourselves a little bit more wiggle room with our finances, especially with other goals that we have for our business and our personal lives. So while we could have swung it, we felt like we would have been stretching ourselves a little too thin, and maybe would have had to put some other goals on the back burner in order to have both a new house and that truck camper combination. So we decided to sell it, knowing full well that in the future we will most likely have a very similar build, if not something even better. So we bit the bullet and we sold our dream overland rig, and we're not stopping there. For the last 4 years, since 2019, Hannah and I have spent multiple months on the road doing overland or expedition style travel. From our first overland build, which was a base model JKU, to a couple Gladiators, to the latest iteration and the best iteration, which was our trimmer with the Scout campers. Every year we spend as much time as possible traveling the country and pushing ourselves to stay out on the road a little longer. This year, we're slowing down. We are still going to travel, we're still going to explore, but not in the same way. We're going to keep things a little more simple. We're going to explore the wonderful state of Tennessee and its neighbors, and we're going to change the approach a little bit. We're not going to try to stay out on the road for 3 months at a time, living out of a camper and really pushing ourselves and putting other things to the background. We're going to focus on smaller trips. We're going to keep things simple. We're still going to camp, but we might also use hotels more often. So in addition to selling the truck and the camper, we are also making a lifestyle shift for the next 18 to 24 months before we hope to be back in a more expedition-focused vehicle. So with all that in mind, with these goals in mind and this shift for the next 18 to 24 months in mind, I started looking for a replacement vehicle to our truck. And we knew we wanted something capable. We knew we wanted something fun and adventurous, but we also knew we wanted something simple. We wanted something less expensive. We wanted something smaller that would function better as a daily driver, because the truck was our only vehicle. And even without the camper on, that made certain things a little challenging, especially if you want to go out on date night into the city or something like that. So we looked at multiple options. We looked at Toyotas, we looked at some other small trucks, and then came back to our comfort zone, which was Jeeps. And we found this used 2023 Jeep Wrangler Sport. And when I say Sport, I mean it is the base model. It does have a couple of options. It has an automatic transmission. It has an anti-spin differential. And let me think. That's it. Everything else is as basic as it gets. Manual locks, manual windows. The dash is bare bones. This thing does not have features. So we went from one extreme with the Tremor, which was a Lariat Ultimate F250 that had everything from ventilated seats to 360 cameras, pretty much anything you can imagine outside of Ford's massaging seats, to a bare bones Jeep. It didn't even come with this hard top. When I picked it up, it had around 5,000 miles on it, and it came with a soft top, and we found this one, thankfully, in the area on Facebook Marketplace. So this thing is bare bones, and that's how we wanted it. We wanted to embrace this shift completely. It also aligns with how we want to use this Jeep. Because it's going to be our only vehicle for 18 to 24 months, it needs to be a suitable daily driver while also being capable enough and fun enough to keep us engaged, take us to trailheads, and maybe hit a couple of off-road trails here and there. But long term, we want this to transition to being a secondary vehicle. We don't plan to be out of the overland game for very long. We're not going to weigh this Jeep down with tents and a bunch of gear. But in the near future, we want to have another truck that we can equip with a camper that will fill that role for us, because we know that we're passionate about that. We've done it for 4 straight years, and we know that it's something that's important to us individually and as a couple. So this Jeep will eventually become our second vehicle with more of a daily driver, weekend warrior role. So that transitions us pretty easily into what are the plans for this Jeep. And if you haven't caught on yet, the plan is to keep it pretty simple. This Jeep is very fun to drive as is, and yes, I know that it's stock. I know that those wheels and tires have got to go. Trust me, I'm already working on it. I am enjoying that 22, 23 miles per gallon, but we do plan to make some changes, maybe more than Hannah knows, but I'm sure somewhere she's a little suspicious, deep down. So we're going to go with some bigger tires, some aftermarket wheels, maybe a mild lift. And then the other things are going to be just your basic functional things. We're going to add some upgraded lighting, some storage solutions, because this 2-door is quite small, especially with the dog in the back. But other than that, we want to keep this thing light, nimble, pretty quick. We want it to be more capable. We want to be able to take it on some trails. We want it to look good. We want to have fun with our vehicle. That is something that we enjoy, but we don't want to go over the top and ruin what makes a 2-door Jeep so special. And that is that it is just a raw, fun, true Jeep that is pretty quick around town, nimble on trails, and just so nostalgic in its appearance. So we don't want to go over the top with this build. One thing I should mention is this Jeep did come with the eTorque powertrain. So if you're familiar with Jeeps, that means that it has the proven 3.6 liter V6 that Jeep puts in their Wranglers, as well as some other vehicles in their lineup. But it has a mild hybrid system. So it is equipped with a 48 volt battery, as well as a belt generator. It eliminates your alternator, your secondary battery that controls like start stop and that kind of stuff. And if I was building a Jeep from the factory, that's probably not how I would have equipped it. But I have to say, in the first couple of weeks of having this Jeep, I'm really enjoying it. That eTorque system, it makes a noticeable difference. It is peppy off the line. We're getting great gas mileage, which I'm sure part of that is because this is a lightweight 2-door. But I think I do attribute some of that to the eTorque, especially around town. And the start-stop, which is notoriously bad in Jeeps, is very seamless in this configuration. So I'm actually very happy with the eTorque system. I know that it's still a little bit of an unknown as far as long-term maintenance, but thus far, very happy with it, and I think that it'll move bigger tires maybe a little bit better than just your standard V6. So that's the one interesting thing about this Jeep, that isn't necessarily an upgrade. It's just a difference between kind of what I'm used to and maybe what a lot of you are used to. So I'll keep you updated on that in terms of performance, especially once we add bigger tires, in terms of maintenance, if I have any issues. But so far, so good. I think that about sums it up for this introduction to our new 2023, new to us, 2023 Jeep Wrangler Sport. I hope you'll follow along if you enjoy Jeeps, if you enjoy watching people build out their vehicles, if you enjoy outdoor overland style content. Be sure to drop a comment below what you think we should do to this Jeep, your thoughts on the e-Torque. Give it a like, subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see you on the next one.